Well, everyone knows now that the Stinger has called it a career. Sting finally retires from professional wrestling, having that amazing match at AEW, the pay-per-view on Sunday, with Darby Allin against the Young Bucks. It was a really good match. It was really awesome. Sting looked like he was 25 years old again in that ring, even though I think he's 64, going on 65 pretty soon. His birthday's coming up, but I thought I'd take a look at this. I did a video about 6 months ago on the cover magazines that Sting was on. So if you want to see that, go back and look into the library. You'll find it. It's probably about 6 months ago I did it, around the time Sting said he was going to be retiring at Revolution. So I put together a video of all the magazine covers that Sting was on. But I thought I'd do a deep dive into this one. This is a magazine that WCW brought out. It's the Collector's Series Special. This is the number 2 one. The number 1 was the posters that came out for that you could have bought and put on your wall. But this one here is all dedicated to Sting. And the actual cover is a poster, but I don't want to rip that off, of course, because then, I don't have the cover for the magazine. So let's take a look here at what we have in this one. Look at that. That's pretty nice. All of the posters you used to get in the WCW magazines. Clearly, this kid was buying 2 magazines to get the front and back side of the posters. We see the kids with the face paint of Sting. Sting's greatest opponents, Rick Rude. Rick Rude's ego is so massive he believes he is the sexiest and the strongest man in the sport. The best way to get the edge on him is to shock him by using a power move he doesn't expect. There it is. Even Sting is shocked at this power move that he's using on Rick Rude. Win Sting's wrestling boots. Let's see. A special look at Sting's greatest victories. The NWA World Title victory over Flair. We got the U.S. title that he won in the tournament. There's his WCW title that he won from Lex Luger. And that anniversary was a few days ago. February 29th, 1992 is when Sting beat Lex for that title. A leap year pay-per-view. There's a double A there. There's the true story of Sting. Looks like a comic as well in here. I believe WCW were pretty big in putting out comic books too at the time, so that might actually be right from one of the comic books. Or maybe that's just a comic written just for this magazine, who knows. Special look at Sting's injuries. The blown out knee was a big one. I don't think that's more of a worked injury, but I remember that one was real. Clash of the Champions, January 1990. Sting jumps down off the cage and destroys his patella and his knee. And you know what I wonder? Sting was supposed to get the title shot with Flair at Capital Combat. Was it Wrestle War 90? Wrestle War 90. And then Lex Luger took Sting's place. I wonder if Sting was going to win the title that night, because he ended up winning it at Great American Bash 90 from Flair. So I'm wondering if he was going to win it at Wrestle War. And they kind of had to hold it on Flair for 2 pay-per-views against Luger until Sting was ready to return. There's an early photo of the Stinger from November 27th, 1985. As a member of the Blade Runner tag team, makes his Mid-Southern debut. The duo wins the match in 45 seconds. Yeah, so a lot of the stuff in the magazine here, they could use Mid-South because Bill Watts was running WCW at the time. And, of course, Bill Watts ran Mid-South, UWF, whatever you want to call it. So a lot of stuff got a lot of Mid-South stuff and UWF stuff gets mentioned or told when normally that probably wouldn't have happened. like pretty much a timeline here. And of course, the writers of these magazines are the same writers that do Pro Wrestling Illustrated or The Wrestler or Inside Wrestling. So, I mean, even in those, I think in the PWI magazine, sometimes you'd see these kind of charts about a tag team or a wrestler showing what they've done over the years. So they kind of just took that and put it in this magazine for Sting. The Black Scorpion, who was Ric Flair. Doesn't matter how look at that. I mean, even in that outfit, you could tell that was Flair, and Flair even bladed wearing the mask too. I mean, Jesus, that guy couldn't go one cage match without bleeding. Sting's greatest opponents. We got Nikita Koloff here. A Day in the Life of Sting. Well, working out with Flying Brian Pillman. Getting ready for a match, putting on the old face paint. Going with the red, white, and black for this night. And there's the WCW title. I loved that title. That version of it, I thought that was so cool. Such a cool looking belt. Of course, only Lex Luger, Sting, Big Van Vader, Ron Simmons, and Ric Flair held that title. That version of it, I believe. A special look at Sting at the Clash. The Clash of the Champions. There he is against Barry Windham. That was for the U.S. Heavyweight title. Sting and Dusty wrestled Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson for the World Tag titles. There's Sting and Flair at the first Clash for the World title. So Sting got a lot of title matches at those Clash of the Champions, but never won a belt at them. We got a Stinger interview. Sting said in the media interview thing after the pay-per-view that he stopped doing steroids in 1990. And I mean, I guess I'll believe him. Like, why would he lie about that? But man, Stinger was jacked even after that. Like, he just had a natural big build to him. So he said Warrior kept doing them, of course, which is true. But maybe Sting did go off him and just naturally trained. Who knows? I mean, we just have to take it at face value, I guess. All that Sting merchandise there. Sting's greatest opponents, Ric Flair. This is kind of cool because Flair wasn't with the company here. He was in the WWF at the time. Ric Flair won a lot of titles over the years, but the gravy train ended in July 1990 when I defeated him for the world title. Flair was yesterday's news. I'm the champion of today and tomorrow. So nice little snub and kind of like trying to bury Flair there, saying he's yesterday's news because he wasn't in the company anymore. Meanwhile, like a few months later, he'd be back and welcomed like crazy and talked about as like the greatest world champion ever. But a special look at Sting on pay-per-view. So Sting's first pay-per-view was Starrcade 87, where he tagged with Michael P.S. Hayes and Jimmy. Well, I guess then he was gorgeous Jimmy Garvin, not Jimmy Jam Garvin. But they wrestled Larry Zbyszko, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, and Rick Steiner. And I believe the match was a draw. It was the opening match of Starrcade. But they don't even show that here. That's not even Sting. That's Barry Windham, dressed as Sting. Do they even say that? Oh, they do actually say that. Good. No, that's not Sting. It's Barry Windham. Good. I was gonna say that'd be kind of shitty to try to say it's Sting in his book when it's not Sting. And we got some fan art that the fans have done. Sting's got a big nose there. That's kind of cool. I loved it when WCW magazines would show the fan art in their magazines. And we got the end of it. So there is the Stinger magazine. That's the Collector's Series Special 2. So if you're looking to get that, if you're a Sting fan, you're looking to add that to your collection, look for it on the Bay of E and see if you can find it. I don't know. I forget. I think I got it in a lot. I don't think I bought it on my own. I think it came in a lot with other WCW magazines. So I was kind of lucky. But yeah, there it is, the Stinger. It's weird knowing Sting's not going to be wrestling or appearing on AEW anymore, but you know, he needs that retirement. I totally get it. So all right. Until I do my next one, talk to you guys later.